Hey yo, what up people, it's Low Heat, and in this video you'll see how I made a beat using only the push 2 without touching the mouse and the keyboard. And I sampled all the sounds from my iPad, and so you'll see 3 different types of sampling with the push 2, making a drum kit with a drum rack, chopping a musical phrase, and making an instrument with simpler by sampling a single note. So if you're into Ableton and machine tutorials, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as I upload those regularly every week. Turn on the notifications, of course, give the video a thumbs up, and now on to the actual video. Okay, so I'm gonna be sampling this track by the UK players called Exit from 1981, and it's from a vinyl ripping channel called Vinyl Universe. The link is gonna be down in the description so you can check out the track. And so how do we record that? We have an audio channel created in Ableton. I go to the mix section, press it twice and make sure that the inputs are set to the inputs where I have my external device connected. For this session I'm using the iPad connected to inputs 3 and 4 of my audio interface. Well, I just turn off the fixed length, press record, and then I press play after the count-in has finished, because you can't really disable the count-in from the push. Go to my Core Gadget app. I'm gonna record some drum samples onto the second slot, so I scroll down. I'm gonna record these samples. Okay, so now that I've recorded the separate drum hits from the Core Gadget app, I'm gonna make a drum kit with them. So I go to the convert option and select drum pad. So now I have the sample on a drum pad in the drum rack, setting the starting point to the kick and setting the end point where it should be. I can zoom in and set it more precisely. So what I do now is I hold down the duplicate button and I duplicate it from pad 1 to pad 2 by pressing them one after the other. And so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna have the snare, duplicate it once again, adjust the start and ending points to get the hi-hat. And for the kick, I can actually go to my sampler settings and add some filtering. A low pass filter with some of the analog filter circuits. Okay, so I go to the whole drum rack and add device, and I'm gonna add a drum bus to make a cool fat drum kit. So I got this nice drum rack now. I'm gonna go back to my sample that I recorded. I'm gonna convert it to a simpler. So now I've cropped the part of the sample that I want to use. Go to the slice mode, which works by going to slicing, and I'm gonna use the manual mode. So when I hit a pad, it creates a slice marker while the sample is playing. That's a really fast way to chop the sample. So let me set the project tempo to 90, I don't know, to 90 BPM. And something else I can do in the simpler, go to the warping and activate the warp option. And okay, let me go back to the drums actually and record drum pattern. Let me play the sample on top of the drum pattern. Maybe I need to add some stereo width to the sample. I'm gonna add a chorus effect actually, because the sample seems to be mono. And from the return channel, I'm gonna add some reverb. Go to the mix and I'm gonna use synth A, on which I have Raum. We try to record one more scene, so I press duplicate and I erase the pattern with the sample. And something else, I'm gonna low pass filter it. Did I say low pass? I meant high pass to remove the low end. Okay, so maybe I'm gonna try this Korg synth from the Korg gadget for the bass sound. Okay, so now I've created a new audio track to record a bass sound. Okay, so I stopped the recording. Again, I'm gonna convert it to a simpler, set the starting point where it should be. So I sampled the note C, otherwise I would have needed to tune the sample so that the notes that I'm playing on the pads correspond to the actual notes that we're hearing. Okay, so let me first of all filter this bass sound. Okay, some other settings. If it's gonna be a bass sound, it should be monophonic, so I go to the global section and set the voice is to 1. Okay, so I figured out that the key of the sample is D sharp minor. Go to my scale and set my root note to E flat, which is the same as D sharp. Let me try to add a filter envelope to this bass actually. So yeah, that was all for this video and see you in the next one. Peace.